She's obsessed with poison, herbs, and other medical ingredients, and he is obsessed with her. At least that's what it looks like in the beginning. But slowly we realize that there is something deeper, and it grows even more meaningful as we move ahead in the story. First, let's talk about Maomao. Her story begins with a singular, intense fixation, her obsession with poison and medicine. Back at home, Liumin had called her a mad scientist because that place was her personal laboratory. She was both the scientist and the guinea pig. Then she moved to the palace and becomes a food taster for Lady Kyokyo. Here we see that instead of being afraid of the danger, she is excited. Another example comes from the iconic scene at the garden party, where while tasting the food, Maomao realizes that the soup is poisoned, but rather than reacting with horror, she smiles, eye gleaming with sheer excitement. This is her high. Then later she asks Jinshi for the rest of it. She confirms that she would risk her own safety to chase after danger and rare knowledge. And we have seen this in season 2 as well, where her desire to learn about the resurrection medicine and its properties is so intense that she agreed to get kidnapped.
You do want to know how to make resurrection medicine.
And there are other countless scenes, even in later volumes, where she gets excited while examining rare herbs. And it's definitely one of the traits that makes her Maomao. Though back then, Maomao's life was mostly dedicated to her own curiosity. However, as Jinshi and the mysteries of the palace pulled her deeper into the court life, she gets out of her scientific bubble. Her obsession slowly turns into obligation, a moral duty to use her skills to protect other people. And it's funny because she doesn't have to help them, but like she says, she can't sleep at night if she doesn't do anything. In the beginning, when she figures out that the concubines are being poisoned by the face powder, she had the chance to simply keep quiet, stay safe, and continue her life as a maid. But she risks her peace and leaves a secret warning. And this is where it all starts. Leading up to season 2 at the altar ritual, when she realizes the setup is flawed and one of the royals might get hurt, she doesn't just observe the disaster, she sacrifices her own safety and physically runs to save Jinshi, getting hurt in the process. Keep in mind that she could have just let the officials handle the situation or let it be, since she didn't even know that it was Jinshi at the ceremony. But nope, our girl take it as a responsibility, even though she continuously says that she should not. Again in season 2, her decision to stay and wait for the Shi clan children to wake up also shows this exact thing. By the end, she realized that her obsession isn't just her obsession anymore, and she can no longer be a humble apothecary or simply steady poison. She must use her knowledge to benefit as many people as she can. And also, like before, she doesn't just do it because Jinshi asks her to. There are times when she's literally dedicated. Like hopefully in season 3, we will see her initiating to help Jinshi investigate an upcoming grasshopper plague. She informs him about the danger and asks him to get her an encyclopedia so they can make a pesticide for them. And it starts to become even more obvious after she passes the court lady exam with first position in volume 7 and goes on a path to become a medical official. There, while many women were probably traumatized by the sight of blood and some even fainted, there was Maomao, who was just focused on the task at hand. She has always shown zero hesitation when it came to her passion, and she's so deep that the filth and the mess are completely invisible to her. She only sees the problem that needs solving.
Stop sniffing people!
She does the same when Jinshi burns Hyokyo's crest onto his abdomen in volume 8, and she's the only one who can treat it. But at that time, her being a mere apothecary wasn't good enough. So even though surgery was not the path her adoptive father wanted her to take, she went for it. Or should I say, like always, Jinshi pushed her into it. And it's an interesting point in the story that he always pushes her to her fullest potential, while she's always trying to stay low and not be in the spotlight. But that's a topic for another time, so let's head back to Mama. From volume 9, she starts to practice as a physician's assistant under her adoptive father and gain experience while working under other physicians as well. From here, her dedication just keeps on increasing, to the point in volume 15 that she makes it a challenge to be able to stitch properly like one of the court physicians, Tian Yu. Lastly, I don't think I have to say this, but it is her vocation. She might be very good at other things, but her true calling is definitely this. Wherever she goes, the medical mystery follows. Whether she's visiting some village or examining a noble household, she always finds the chemical, biological, or forensic problem lurking beneath the surface, and she must solve them. It's not her job requirement, rather, it's her default setting. Think about the case in Volume 6 with Lady Lishu's family, where her father tried to deny her true identity. Mama didn't use politics or family ties, she used her specialized knowledge and proved that she was indeed his daughter. This has been going on since the first day and is proven again and again by each volume. We, the readers, can't see her doing anything else. But ironically, there is one person who sees a different potential in her. It's Jinshi. There's this scene from volume 14 when they are in the carriage and he's talking about how he's been holding back from touching her and all. He admits he wants to hold her close, but fears he won't be able to control himself and will end up biting her again. To intentionally make him uncomfortable and test his boundaries, Mawa takes condensation from her juice glass and traces a wet path down his hand and middle finger. He's visibly shaken and awkwardly says, "You may think apothecary is your vocation, but I think you'd make a better courtesan than one might suspect." Mama pursed her lips and says, "Is that supposed to be a compliment?" Jinshi, meanwhile, is now looking anywhere but at her, and Mama realizes that she may have teased him too soon, leaving a long, awkward ride ahead of them. I hope it's clear, though, that she isn't just obsessed with those things. They're basically her life. And it's the same with Jinshi. His obsession with her isn't just an obsession either. It might have been possession in the beginning, but then he realizes that he needs her. This soon becomes intimation, a quiet sharing of his true self, and lastly, devotion. But all this happens slowly and gradually. Remember their first meeting and how he agreed to appoint her as Lady Kyokyo's lady-in-waiting? He mostly did that to understand the emperor's favorite concubine, but as he sees Mama is not interested in him whatsoever, he starts to gain more and more interest in her. And since she's the first person he has truly tried to impress, he attempts all sorts of things and chooses ways that are not very charming. He harasses her without knowing and is very persistent in trying to make her like him. But then he realizes that he has to let her go. He could have forced her to stay, but he doesn't, thinking that she wants to be free from the palace. As Gaoshun said, he doesn't think of her as a mere toy that he wants to play with all the time, so he fires her.
Then you'll...
I'll let you go.
Huh? Negotiation unsuccessful. Maomao is fired.
It makes him sad, very sad, but he does what he thinks is best for her. It was obviously not what she wanted, but at that time, her communication skills didn't work that well. However, it gets sorted out and he buys her contract from the granny, bringing her to his home and a little closer to his heart. There, he slowly understands that he needs her. So he simmers down his obsession and starts to signal his true feelings, intentions, and even his hidden identity to her. He is no longer trying to control her, but rather he's trying to share his world with her. But unfortunately, Mama doesn't want any part of that. She's okay with just being a humble apothecary. That's why there's more than a single time where she pushes aside his feelings and tries to run away. And a lot of times, she has actually succeeded in that, giving us some iconic scenes. After all this, our pretty boy hasn't given up just yet, and her being kidnapped just fire up his resistance. It's like after being without her, he knows he wants her, or else he would have a deficiency of Maomao, and we have seen that it's pretty scary. This goes on for a while, and even though Maomao accepts his true identity, she's not going to accept his signals for his feelings, because doing so will bring her a lot of trouble, and also because she doesn't think of herself as someone who can love. This leads us to one of the scenes by the end of Volume 5, where Jinshi reaches the highest point of persistence while trying to make her understand that she is, in fact, one of the candidates for his marriage. But Maomao sees a way out of that situation as well, pulling out a wild card in whatever game they were playing. and gives us their first kiss. At this point, he realizes that he has lost, so he lowers his determination, just casually asking her opinion and hinting to her about how he feels. This is where she snaps. If you ever read the novels, you would know that he never straight out confesses his feelings to her. So in volume 7, she finally confronts him. He realizes his mistake and get over it instantly, telling her that he's going to make her his wife without any hesitation. But he doesn't want her to be in trouble, to have enemies, or to be caged. So he burns the crest mark of Empress Gyokyo on his abdomen, announcing in front of the Emperor, the Empress, and Mama herself that he will not become the enemy of Empress Gyokyo and he will not take the crown. He does get slapped by the Emperor, his father, but he takes Mama with him, calls her his wife, and in the end silently weeps. Though even when we have reached this far, his feelings for Maomao still had some selfishness. And it only increases as she accepts his feelings, because now he wants more from her without knowing. But that fantasy bubble of his pops when in volume 13 she comes to his room and they plan to take their relationship to the next step. She gives him all the instructions and tells him all the things that she'd take care of so they won't end up becoming parents when they are not even stable. Seeing her torture herself for his sake, he hugs her and makes up his mind to physically distance himself from her and control his feelings, at least until it's clear that he will not take the throne. In short, she fascinated him at first, now he's in love. And from here on, you can just feel the love and care coming from him. He gets nervous and anxious about just being with her because he knows that he won't be able to control his feelings, while his girl is busy teasing him. He has honestly come so far, and I'm so proud of his development. And if Maomao's life is a journey from chaotic obsession to selfless vocation, then Jinshi's parallel journey is from self-centered possession to selfless devotion. Also, I just love the way the author has written their story, even though it's the slowest burn, and I can't wait to see how she's going to continue it. I guess that's it. I'm pretty sure I have missed some scenes and some points, but in the end, this is just an idea that I thought of after looking at this official picture of them. So please don't take anything I say seriously and tell me your thoughts. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for listening to me. Take care of yourself and goodbye.
And the lows, no, you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you, but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side, maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change.